Weeks of protests across the nation, fueled by the killing of black people at the hands of police. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Rayshard Brooks, killed by police in Atlanta just days ago.
The trust that we have with the police force is broken. And the only way to heal some of these wounds is through a conviction and a drastic change with the police department.
The country grappling with race, policing, and an overwhelming demand for police reform. Tonight, the president's plan.
We take historic action to deliver a future of safety and security for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Inside how one police force disbanded and rebuilt.
It wasn't that the people of this community didn't want the police. They just wanted us to behave differently.
And a look at a program helping police train under pressure. Today, the president met privately for at least an hour with several black families whose loved ones were killed by police.
To all of the hurting families, I want you to know that all Americans mourn by your side.
Among the families, the mother of Ahmaud Arbery. Arbery was shot to death in February after being chased down by 3 white men.
I think the president was very receiving. She was very compassionate. He did assure each family member that we would and should expect change.
In the Rose Garden, surrounded by 9 law enforcement officers, only one of them black, the president signed an executive order to encourage change in police departments, including a mechanism for departments to share information about abuse complaints against officers and new guidelines on chokeholds.
Chokeholds will be banned, except if an officer's life is at risk.
Chokeholds are deadly force. The Supreme Court has already said that deadly force should not be used unless an officer is actually in fear of serious bodily harm or death. The problem with the use of the chokehold is the claims that are typically made by police officers that they felt exactly that.
It makes no mention whatsoever of racism in policing. And in his remarks, the president sought to downplay the number of problem officers.
I use the word tiny. It's a very small percentage, but you have them.
Unless we get some real serious teeth in these reforms, they're basically just holding steady with pretty much where we are now.
There's crisis in American policing, and something needs to be done about that.
Scott Thompson knows how much work is needed to make changes. He served as police chief of Camden, New Jersey from 2008 to 2019.
The overwhelming majority of the men and women who choose policing as a profession do so for altruistic reasons. I don't fault the police officers as much as I do the systems in which they operate.
Camden, once labeled the most dangerous city in America, grappled with high crime and poverty for generations. The majority black and brown city faces a perfect storm of social inequities.
It wasn't until we took a different approach to things that we were able to start to change the trajectory of the city.
In 2012, with a strapped budget and spiking murder rates, the state decided to disband the police department. The next year, the county rebuilt a new police department and reimagined public safety. Thompson was there for all of it.
There would be 3 bedrock principles of which we would construct this organization. The first was that there would be an identity of guardianship over warriors. The second was that we would engage in extraordinary levels of community policing. And the third was that de-escalation was not going to be a training for us. It was going to be a culture.
Drop the knife.
In this video, you can see the de-escalation training at work in the real world.
Sir, drop the knife or I will tase you.
Camden police officers encounter a knife-wielding man. For multiple blocks, they walk along with the man until he drops the knife and he's arrested. The program's success comes not just from the police, but from the community's input as well.
We've reduced excessive force complaints by 95%.
For all the progress, Thompson still sees more changes the city could make.
The city of Camden and the police department are still a work in progress. I would still like to see higher levels of diversity within the department.
His advice for police departments across the country: emphasize de-escalation training.
Training officers in the art and skill of de-escalation is as important as teaching them how to accurately shoot their weapon. The ultimate objective is that everybody goes home at the end of the shift, not just one party.
In 2019, Nightline headed here, the Maryland Eastern Shore, to see a program that helps law enforcement officers better control their stress in tense situations. It's called Close Quarters Defense. Once mostly reserved for U.S. Special Operations and federal agencies.
They have no idea what they're going into, which is valuable because we want them to do exactly what they would do on the street. Good to see you. Hi, how you doing?
Dwayne Dieter is the site's founder, guru, expert in tactical training.
We're really thrilled to have you here.
On this day, a group of police officers and sheriff deputies will be his students.
We all love you. It's all about making you better. So all those trainees come with me.
His program is all about subjects cops rarely share with the public or their families. Stress and fear.
Stress not controlled can make a person be aggressive to someone that's not necessary to be aggressive to.
Jackie Dalton, 36, a U.S. Coast Guard veteran, now a rookie cop in Havertide, Grace, Maryland, fresh out of the academy.
I adore my coworkers and my chief. I don't want to let them down.
One of the key tools in Dwayne's training, this simple cloth and rope called the hood. Each time the hood comes up, the trainee encounters a new unknown scenario. Inches away could be a gunman or a pedestrian asking directions. So the hood teaches students to do what?
To be able to react quickly, an ability to be aggressive, assertive, or passive, compassionate. All has to be within split seconds as it applies.
Dalton suits up.
There's noise to help build the stressors.
So in this, you want stress.
Yes, we need it.
Stress is their friend.
It will become their friend. At first, it is not their friend normally.
Dieter observes her.
She is verbalizing, de-escalating.
Put the knife down!
Getting a baseline on how she performs under stress before his training.
Get back, get back, get back! Get back, get back!
She's getting her gun, which is very common.
Put your hands up!
Okay, so that would be a bad situation that happened. Her energy was high enough that she eventually shot the person.
Even though the person was moving away from him, exactly.
Was not a threat. Though he attacked her initially, he moved back. So that's where we do not shoot. He's no longer an active threat. You can relax, just relax. Please just describe why you shot that person and use lethal threat.
I used lethal threat because I felt fear for my life, and they could have threatened either the person off to my left or myself or any other citizens if I let them get away.
Did you see that he had any weapon or not, the person off to your right?
He had a gun.
And did he shoot at you from that position, or what did you see?
He was aiming it towards me. He did not shoot.
What she thought wasn't reality.
And not even close. She actually saw a gun.
Many of us were raised to believe that the truth is always the truth. But what we saw today, under stress, the truth can look different.
Their perceived truth, that's right. It's because they are not used to this level of stress, so their truth is very different sometimes than what truthfully happened. And they will say what they believe right off the bat because that's what they saw.
Dieter says Dalton isn't the only student perceiving things differently under stress.
He was taking my gun. He actually had it.
Sharing these videos with us of others on day one.
Can you train that out of a person?
Absolutely. We do it every single time.
All right. You did good.
Dalton is exhausted, drained, distraught that she shot an unarmed man.
All right, way to fight, way to fight. You did great, you did great. So have you ever felt that before? No. In a little bit of training, this will be a comfortable thing for you. You'll feel it, you'll feel that you have the energy to respond to it and react to it. Have a seat, relax.
All right, thanks.
What do you think?
It's stressful, and it's emotionally draining.
My sense from him was that he did a hell of a job.
Well, I appreciate that, but sometimes it's not enough.
You're shaking.
It's an important job, and I put a lot of pride in me doing what I do.
Get down on
Dieter's program can take weeks.
Put one hand down the ground in front of you.
But even after just one day of training,
She did better.
She did better.
we witness a transformation in Dalton.
Get down on your stomach. Get down on your stomach.
Now the person was complying and then went for the gun. She was able to pick that up.
She aced it. Controlling stress, Dieter says, actually improves decision making.
You're smiling this time.
Yeah, I'm smiling this time. It was, it felt less stressful, even though I was still going through kind of the same thing. I was able to focus a little bit better.
What I saw from you this time is confidence.
Right.
Get back. Get back.
Building confidence for those split-second decisions between life and death.
And stop. That's good.
A vital step in America's long journey towards justice for all.
Great work. Great having you. Super job. Super job. Be safe out there, everybody.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.